coming to you again from the Oklahoma City store, and we are continuing on from what we talked about last week, which, if you'll remember, we were talking about edge-to-edge quilting with the Amelie Scott. I got the whole thing quilted out. Now I'm going to show you how to put the binding on this.
And we have got a fancy binding technique for you ladies. I am so excited.
Yes, it is very, very fun. Now, what I have here, and this is just a little mock-up. I already pre-planned and got things ready for you.
What?
So, obviously this is not enough fabric to make it all the way around this quilt, but I just wanted to be able to show you how we got to this step.
Okay.
So, I have 2 pieces of fabric here, as you can see.
Oh, yes.
White and teal. Now, most of the time when you're doing binding, you're cutting a strip that is 2.5 inches wide.
Okay.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're doing is we are making a binding that looks like it's got piping with it.
Okay.
It's like faux piping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I've done is I have taken and cut this one 1.5 inches wide, and this one is 1.25 inches wide.
Okay.
Okay, and we are going to sew these together, and even though this is a solid fabric, there is a right and a wrong to it because we have to know if there was anywhere where I have joined it.
Yes.
Right there. So, because it's always fun when you get to sewing along and you find out that you sewed it upside down. So I'm going to.
We've never done that.
Never, ever have I done that ever. So I'm going to marry these together. Okay. I also, this is kind of a looser weave fabric that was trying to fray on me. I put a little bit of Best Press on here and ironed it, and it's helping it lay nicer and behave better for me.
Okay.
So sometimes you don't necessarily need it starched, but you need it to behave. So I have that. Now, over here, if you can see, I am using my digital dual feed foot.
Big Rock Ballad.
Yes, we are on the ballot, and that is my digital dual feed foot, which is the belt driven foot, which that's my little switch right there so I can lower the belt down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it comes with this foot on it, but I want to make sure I'm sewing a 1/4 inch seam, so enter into the picture.
1/4 inch sole for digital dual feed foot.
Right, so let me get that out of the box.
Okay.
If you don't have a digital dual feed foot machine, you want one. Let me just put it that way. You want one because it's better than a typical walking foot that just kind of hops along the fabric. This is a rolling system. Mm-hmm. It's plugged into the back and it's talking to the feed dogs, so it's evenly adjusting the layers of fabric. Mm-hmm. It has snap-on feet, which you can just push down and that one comes off. And then there's the little grooves right there, or the little bars that are going to snap into here, and I'm just going to snap that into place. Mm-hmm. And that guide right there is what I'm going to bump my fabric up against.
Okay.
Okay, so pretty easy peasy on that. And that's not where that thread goes. All right, so I've got my fabric here and I'm lining it up all nice and neat.
And we're just on a centered straight stitch.
Yep, center straight stitch. Oh, but let me show you a couple of things that I set up on this machine so it plays nicer with me.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing is if you go into your settings page, and then I'm going to come over here to automatic presser foot lift. I have it set for auto down, but I have turned off auto up, because when I'm going to be doing some of this, I have to keep adjusting my fabric, and I don't want it to automatically pop up because then sometimes I lose a little bit of control of my fabric.
Okay.
So I've turned that part off, okay? Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna go back here. This is the page that's dealing with that multifunction foot controller. I have it set, it's down here, okay? And the back end of it is going to be set for presser foot up down, so that when I do need it to go up and down, I don't have to let go of my fabric. I can control it with my foot. And then I want this one over here to be thread cutting. Again, when I'm dealing with all this fabric from my quilt, I don't want to, I know it's not a hard thing to have to reach up there and touch the cut button, but my foot is available and that switch is available.
Absolutely.
So you can change those settings, but that's the settings I'm choosing to use to make this easier.
Okay.
Okay? I think sometimes we forget that we have all these settings to make life easier with our sewing.
Right.
And then we're like, wait a minute, I have something that can make that work better.
Yeah.
So I'm lining my fabric up Can you see okay?
Yeah. Can you still see?
Kind of.
I can back out.
She likes to put this right in front of my face so I can't really see the fabric. But see how I'm just making sure that my edges stay even and they're
Yep.
going right there along that black guide.
Yep.
Okay? And so, not too hard, right?
Just stitch along until it's all together.
Right? And again, this is my mock-up piece. This is not the real piece I'm going to use. I just wanted you to see how easy it is to put these together. And you can use a standard foot, but if you want it to really truly be a true 1/4 of an inch, it's center needle position. But when I'm up against my little bumper right there, I know that it's sewing exactly where I need it to. And I can tell that that's scooched over just a little bit. I'm just using just ordinary quilting sewing thread. Oh, this piece is longer than I thought it was. Good thing I'm not going around the whole one. You'd just be sitting here going, wow, she can sew a straight line.
We'll watch her for 10 minutes while she sews just a straight seam. And we're nearly done.
And again, I want to cut, so I'm going to push that little sidecar on my foot,
Oh, I think we missed it, but I believe that you did
and I'm
it.
raising my presser foot with the back of it. So you can see I sewed my seam. There's the other side of it. All right, can you follow me over to the
Yeah.
lower star?
Yeah.
All right, let's go this way. So now we need to press this seam to one side. And the general rule of thumb is that we press things to the dark side.
Yes. Like Star Wars.
Sure, like Star Wars.
Join the dark side.
So we've got my
Your fabric. So what she just did there, spraying some of the steam away, was that sometimes a little bit of condensation will build up in that hose right
As it's
there.
just sitting there,
While it just sits waiting for us to come iron with it. And so we can clear any possible wetness out of the hose by just spraying that steam away. And the nice thing is, even with that little bit of wetness, it's dry enough that you're not really going to damage anything.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about
yeah.
it's pretty
It's a safe steam. I mean, it really is. But we can clear any possible condensation out of there very easily by just spraying a little bit before we apply it to our fabric.
Oh, apparently I didn't catch the thread right there. That's okay. This is my mock-up piece, so we're going to pretend like I got that. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to press it again to make sure that I've got a nice tight press on that seam. Because I don't want it to be rolled. I want it to be completely flat.
Okay.
Okay? Good? Okay, so as you know, one side of it was wider by 1/4 of an inch than the other side. And all told together, I really had a piece that was 2 3/4 because I had to have room for a seam allowance, right? So now I'm going to take this and put my glasses on so I can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm going to put my wrought edges together. Okay?
And you've got that, see that right there? That blue is sticking out just that nice
Peeking
1/8
out
of an
that one
inch.
side.
And I'm actually going to come around you so we can see it as you.
Okay. Say I can't move. This is
No,
tethered.
you're good. You're good. I can move. Everybody just has to hold on to their seats while I move the camera around so we can see here this beautiful little 1/8 inch blue.
I'm not going to go all the way down. I think I have enough for you to get the idea,
Yeah,
right?
we understand.
Okay.
We get the idea here.
But see how, and I'll just,
Give it a good steam.
okay?
Very good.
So
very good.
what you see here is
it's
just
gonna look like piping.
it is. So when I sew the raw edge onto the fabric and when I fold it back around, that's going to look like I did piping on it, because piping is actually kind of a challenge to try and maintain holding it inside the binding. So why not just make it look like piping instead of trying to force piping into it?
Absolutely.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go back over to the machine.
Okay.
So we're back at the machine, and you're catching up to me now. I already sewed some of it on here. But I have my binding,
Okay.
and I've got it with, this side needs to be face down, because when that turns over, I need that piping
And we're
to
on
be.
the back of our quilt.
Right, I'm on the back of the quilt with the, it's the narrower strip that is the one that's face
On the
down.
fabric,
Mhm.
yep.
So I've got my 1/4 inch foot
Okay.
on my digital dual feed.
Okay.
And remember, I have the ability to use my foot to get my presser foot down.
Yes, yes.
My foot to get that foot down.
A real foot.
There's too many
For
feet.
a pretend metal foot.
Yes.
It's not really pretend. A metal foot.
And I'm coming along here, and I'm just making sure that all of this stays nice and even.
Mm-hmm.
And you are dealing with the quilt sandwich, but you're also dealing with these 2 layers of fabric.
Which is part of why that compact digital dual feed is so useful.
Right, and if I was trying to hang on to a piece of piping in the middle of all of this too, I think I would not put the piece of piping in there.
Yeah, that's
So,
fair.
I need to get the weight off of that. And I'm going to show you a trick when you get to the corner.
Which we're nearly there, folks.
We are.
Don't fret.
Yep. I mean, I can sew faster, but then I might screw it up.
You know, that's
And I've worked
fair.
too hard to screw it up now.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can see how much she's already done on this quilt. It looks amazing.
And we had lots of people come by a Maylee Scott design. So obviously this was something that you all really loved hearing about.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to point something out when I get about a few more inches down here, okay? And I'm going to do a couple of different things.
Okay,
One of them is, do you see the little red marks on the foot?
I do. You ladies see them?
See those red marks
Yeah.
right there?
Yeah.
So this closest one right here,
Uh-huh.
from here to the end is it's a 1/4 inch. Okay,
Okay.
so I know where I need to stop. But I'm also going to use that wonderful marking pen we have, the Quilter Select Self-Erase Marker.
Yes.
And I know that that's where my corner is. So I'm going to draw a line right there in my corner.
Okay.
A diagonal line.
Think of it as a 45.
Right. And so now I'm going to come forward, and when I get to where because I can see the end of my fabric right here. One more stitch. Now I need my presser foot to go up, right? And but I have it so that my needle's in the down position.
Okay.
But when I push my heel on my foot controller, that went up. I'm going to turn this so that now, if you can kind of see that, that purple line that I drew, there's my corner.
Yep.
I'm gonna sew right off the edge there.
Okay.
And then I can use my other sidecar to cut. I almost grabbed that, but
You did, I saw
and then
it.
I need it to go up. And so see my little 45 that I did right
Hold
there?
on, wait till you're still. Okay, there we go. Yeah, very nice.
But now when I fold this up, and I fold it back, now I can plant my needle right there because I can feel where that is underneath
Well, and
there.
you can still, or you could use your marker again to mark that point to where you need to start sewing.
Okay,
And
now-
you'll see, seemingly, some of you ladies may have already heard of this, but if you haven't, you'll see whenever it's time to flip your corners around that makes that beautiful little miter
Right.
very simple on your corners.
And now I'm going to put my presser foot down, and I like to tack stitch it.
So
So the
that
back
means, so
stitch-
that dot there means it's going to stitch in place for a few stitches.
Because I don't want it to
instead
back
of
stitch, because then it would go over that fold, and then I
we don't
couldn't
want
flip
that.
it around.
That's right.
I need to tack, not back. And then I'm going to come down here.
That's a good little rhyme.
Hey, you know, we could like,
We'll go into marketing. Watch out, Kaylee and Hannah. That's our marketing
you know,
team.
we could come up with some jingles for this. Hang on, I got to fold this so that it's not falling off the table on me. Coming down here to where I had started it, even though you didn't watch me do the whole thing. You would have been bored if I'd gone all the way around it. One thing I have learned about anytime I'm putting binding on, don't be in a hurry. Because
No.
it's more important to get it on right than it is to get it on fast. Because if it's not done right and you have to take it off, it's a real pain to take off.
Oh, it is too.
And sometimes I'll serge my binding on, if you have like a Triumph, slow that puppy down. Oh my gosh, you don't want to go so fast that you have, because then you got a lot of thread to get out.
That is true.
Of course, we have to stop before we get all the way down here, because there's a way that you can miter this this piece together. Not part of what we're talking about today. I'm not going to stop long enough to show you how we can make it like a seamless thing.
We'll do that maybe next week or another time.
Right, and I'm going to tack stitch it again, but I can show that another time. I just wanted you to be able to see that there's a fancy way to make those come together and marry and flip over to the other side.
So just keep tuning in from week to week to eventually see that.
But now let me show you here. Oh, it's bigger than I thought. It's for a big baby.
Got one of those 12-pound babies for this quilt.
So that's what it looks like on the back side, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
now when we want to flip this around to the front side, got some stringy things here. When I flip it around to the front side, like that,
I love it.
see how it is a piped look?
Yes.
So now I'm going to show you how we sew that part down.
Okay.
All right, so remember this is a snap-on foot.
Yes.
This one doesn't have a release button like your typical
Right, you
ankle.
just press it down.
You just push down and it comes off.
And actually here, I'll come around to this side so we can see a little better. Because that was our 1/4-inch guide foot.
Yeah, let me put it back in the box.
Oh, she's being very good. She's staying
Well,
organized, ladies.
You know,
Not always easy, but it was always worth it. Okay, and
Now-
now she has the stitch in the ditch sole for the digital dual feed foot.
and it looks a lot the same.
But look, our paddle moves,
Yeah.
our little guide paddle.
It's in the middle where that one is at the 1/4 inch.
Yes.
And
In the
so-
ditch, if you will.
So you can see how.
Yeah, love it. And so she's just going to install this one.
Okay.
Perfect.
So we have that on there, and then I'm going to find where the end of this is.
It is a bigger baby quilt than I think we thought it was going to
It
be.
really is. I mean, I'm glad, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's like,
I made a quilt for my daughter. It was not quite that big for her baby quilt.
now,
Of course, now she's so
we're
big.
just going to do one, kind of like around one corner. I'm not going to do the entire thing right now. I'm just going to go around this one corner, because if you can do one side a corner and this part, you're just going to repeat it 3 times.
Yep.
That makes sense? Hang on, let me get all this. I'm not quite doing it in the
I
order
just
I would.
bragged that she was organized, ladies.
Well, I am.
Here we are.
So I'm pulling this around.
For context, ladies, if you're not aware, Jan is my mother. So I'm allowed to be a little bit of a pill sometimes. I apologize.
A little bit.
A lot of a pill sometimes.
So I've got this wrapped around, okay?
Yes.
And I can feel that it's laying flat. If I'm pulling it so tight that it's
Rolling up the inside, yeah.
right. And you can pin it, you can use clips, but I can feel where this is
We
supposed to
sew
go.
with our hearts.
Yes. And so now I'm going to get this underneath here.
That paddle's going to go right between that white and that blue.
Mm-hmm. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
And put my presser foot down. And can you imagine, I'm having a hard enough time with 2 hands trying to hang on to just this. If I was trying to keep a little piece of piping tucked under something I was folding over,
No way. This is the way to do it.
this is the way to do it. And so now I'm going to,
And look, that stitch in the ditch too is also going to help make that blue edge a bit more like poofed and pronounced by poking kind of the center point between down a little bit, so it'll make it have an even more pronounced kind of piped look.
and again, we're not in a hurry. Keep trying to tell myself I'm not in a hurry.
You want it to look nice. Although
So we get to the corner here.
done is good too.
Yeah, done is good too. We get to the corner, so I folded it over the corner, and I'm going to sew. Do you see how I kind of made it be?
Yeah, fold it out flat with the next
Like that?
side. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to sew right down to, you can see
Okay,
where
I'm
that
gonna come
comes.
around here. Hold on.
Okay, so we're sewing straight. Got my stitch in the ditch.
We're going to sew to the place where we see the seam going out to the left for the next side. So she's watching, and if you notice, my paddle, it's clear.
And I can see that line is going to match that red mark.
the red
and
mark
now
that's on
I'm
the
going
needle,
to tack
or between,
stitch.
with the needles in between.
Tack stitching.
The nice thing about that tack stitch is it doesn't move back and forth, right? You're not adding bulk to your seam.
And then I'm going to turn. Can you get down here where you can see?
You to miss.
And now when I fold this piece over,
Well, I mean, we do take donations, but if you're wanting to sell it,
On this one, ladies, I will say I do recommend a clip just on your corner to get started.
well, I also happen to sit down over here and I don't have one.
Yeah. So she's gonna make it work.
And I can also fold it a little bit more in if I need to get that to play nice. There we go.
Okay, and then she positions it under her needle, lowers her foot.
And I'm going to tack stitch.
1, 2, 3.
I'm going to fold that over.
And then continue on your side.
And so I'm going to go all the way down this side, and again when I get to the next corner I'm going to
Do the same exact.
same exact thing, and you just repeat all your corners. And I'm just going to go a few more inches and take it off just so you can see how neat that looks with that piping.
Loving it. What a way to jazz up
It is.
your binding.
It really it makes a big difference. I did this on a quilt that I made for my granddaughter, and it was a black binding, but I wanted it to pop, and so I used gold on this part, and it picture framed it. But look, can you see how it just like really sets it off?
It does. Oh, I love it.
So the things that we've been showing you today, and I'll just kind of set that aside. You can see, and obviously it's not done, but you're getting kind of the feel of it. We did
We'll
all of
super
the,
premiere the finished one at the beginning of next
we
week's
did
New It
all
too.
of this. Oh, I was going to show you. Can you come in close for a second? I showed you this is how you use the pen, but if you wanted to erase a mark, because there's one of my little marks, I use this side of the pen.
It fades away. Look
Yep.
at that. Beautiful.
Okay, so that's what that pen is all about. We've done the Amelie Scott edge to edge.
Loving
I've shown
it.
you the fun little trick of how to make faux piped binding.
Yes.
How to attach it using your, how to sew it together with your 1/4 inch foot, how to attach it with your 1/4 inch foot, and then flip it over and go right inside that binding line so that it stitches right in that little ditch. So if you don't have a digital dual feed foot, or you want the more compact one, if you have maybe a little bit older version, this is the newer compact. It's got a lower profile this way. These are things that you need in your sewing room. If you don't already have them, I promise you, you need them. They are amazing.
And you know what I think we should do?
What?
If somebody comes in and quotes the New It 2 discount, I think if you want the compact digital dual feed foot or any of the soles for it, 25% off.
All of it? Okay, what if you already have a compact, what if you already have a digital dual feed foot and you just want to get the feet?
25% off the feed.
Okay.
25% off any of the digital dual
What
feed
about the
supplies.
fancy schmancy?
Oh, now surely somebody just needs to win one of those.
They do, but I think we should also do 25% off.
Oh,
on this.
okay.
So
Yeah.
we're keeping it easy. We don't have to come up with all these different ideas of what it should be.
That's
So
right.
25% off on all these goodies.
So you come in, you say, I want the New It 2 discount.
New It 2 faux piping special.
Faux piping special. I like it.
Okay? But we're also going to give away one of these.
Okay.
So you all know the trick.
How do we win?
Like,
Yes.
share, and comment.
Yep.
And on Thursday, we will be doing a drawing for one lucky winner to win the Quilter Select Self-Erase Marker.
It is my go-to marking
It
pen.
is. I love it. You can see it on anything and it marks off of anything. So we have that wonderfulness, and then we also have all sorts of other fun things going on. We are still taking signups as the class is filling up for the Artful Embroidery. Tech party signups are going on. and
Yes.
those are really getting packed. There's going to be lots of people here to have snacks and find out about all the new stuff, win some prizes, and have some great specials going on.
Absolutely.
So come see us at any one of our stores in the Missouri, Arkansas, Texas area. If you're nationwide, give us a call. We're happy to
And
help you
Oklahoma.
out. Did I forget Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Duh.
We're happy to help you anywhere.
Anywhere. I went all around with myself.
You did.
I made a heart around
That's
it.
right. That's what it
Okay,
was.
so but we always enjoy coming to you with something wonderful and fun. So remember to like, share, and comment. Let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you soon in the store.